And here we go. So who am I? You can read my background in life sciences and healthcare is broad. The depth is mostly in public health, where I ran our Department of Health in Maryland for technology and operations for a couple of years. Life sciences, the way we think about it at King 360 is the way I think most people think about it. It's pharmaceuticals, it's biotech, and it's med tech or med device, all three. And what I want to talk about today, I was really focused on the word now. I mean, what makes right now different than a year ago, right? And maybe even different than a year from right now, next time we get together. And I'm going to focus on three themes. Catherine, for those who were paying attention this morning, three themes, right? That's all that we can focus on, right, from her comments. So I want to talk about the impact of the pandemic, the maturity of Nocode and how that has progressed and changed over the years, and the importance of the platform to adapt over time. So I've got some data for you, some charts, okay? And so the impact of the pandemic has accelerated some trends. And the key trend right here is you've probably heard of in-place or at-home, community-based or home-based services for medical care. You've at least heard of it. And you can probably think of all the benefits just intuitively, right, that are in the middle of the slide there somewhere. But what is not so well appreciated is number three there, the challenges. The caregivers burn out. There's high attrition, right? The people who are at home instead of a hospital setting, they go off their regimens, right? You don't know what the conditions are, right? And so what's the impact here for in-place? And the coordination of the care is across people who are not all in one facility. So there's a lot of communication, there's a lot of validation that needs to be done as to whether somebody's on protocol or not, whether a visit has been made or not. These are new challenges, and look at the growth in just 8 years projected, right? So this is one reason for Nocode. This is accelerating because of the pandemic. This, I think, everybody's familiar with. I want to point out, if you get the slides, there's a URL down there. This is a report by Accenture. A lot of the reports by Deloitte and A&Y and so forth, they're not very good. This one was, the methodology was a good report, and there's a lot of substance to it and insight. I do recommend it. And it's validating what we know experientially, which is that we shifted from everything being pre-pandemic in person to during the pandemic, everything being remote, online. And what this is saying is what probably we all expected. What our target audiences for our marketing and sales activities want is a mix. They want a hybrid, right? It's both. So that's, I think, the mode of engagement that we are settling into. And then for life sciences, if you didn't know, it is highly driven by investment capital, right? And so what we see right here in this slide is the amount of capital and the amount of IPOs that we've had in this space in life sciences. And we see a cliff falling off, right? We see the capital drying up right now. What does that mean for what we do? The implication, the uncertainty in the capital markets. It means all of this investment has put all kinds of compounds and devices into clinical trials, right? And those clinical trials are not dropping off, they're continuing. And it means that there are going to be all kinds of organizations that are coming out of the latter stages of clinical trials and launching their commercial teams. And they're going to be doing it in an environment where the capital investment is falling off. And so if they were swimming in money before, they're not anymore. This is important because this industry is dominated by expensive, inflexible sales force. And it creates a demand for more cost-effective platform solutions, okay? So, and the other impact of the pandemic is what it means for those who are sales professionals in this realm, whether they are traditional field reps, whether they are key account managers or strategic account managers, new product launch managers, or medical liaison teams. These are all different teams that combine for selling in life sciences. And there's light gray bubbles that didn't come out very well in the contrast. But what this slide is suggesting is that whereas in the not very distant past, a med rep just needed to kind of churn and burn with calls and presentations and content that they're doing for their e-detailing for people that know this industry, what we need now, what the providers, right? We talked about the patients, more in-place care. The providers, the doctors, they are demanding that every minute that they spend with a rep be value add. And what that means is that reps can't just be churning through PowerPoints. To some degree, they need to be adding value-added services downstream. And to some degree, they need to start engaging their own value-added marketing. They're not going to be marketing professionals, but they need to spread their wings in terms of their skill sets as enabled by their technologies, okay? So that's impact of so I do a time check, 6 minutes in. So that was theme 1, the impact of the pandemic. Theme 2 is the maturity of no-code. This slide summarizes my IT career, all right? At Keen 360, we talk in terms of 3 waves of IT. It's just a conceptualization. And my own career actually started with Vantive and then Siebel, right? And we had database. This was the rise of the database. And you either had really simple applications or really complicated ones. That was wave 1. Wave 2 was the rise of the cloud. If you caught my comments before lunch in a session, the genius of Salesforce had nothing to do with their technology or their functionality. Actually, those were weak. It was about removing the complexities of the data center and moving to a payment model of subscription, right? The CFO loves the subscriptions because they're predictable and they're operational costs instead of capital costs, right? So that is really the explanation for wave 2. It's not that it was better technology or easier to use technology. I didn't think I've never seen Salesforce solutions that are better than what I was delivering with Siebel, okay? But the complexities of the technology created the opportunity for low code, okay? So that's where we are now. And, whoops, wrong direction. And so what's been more recent is that no-code started circa 2010 from a handful of vendors. OutSystems is another well-known one. And by 2014, this is the report in which the term no-code was either coined or popularized, okay? So 2014, no-code is on the radar of the analysts. I'm CIO of the Department of Health in Maryland in 2016, and I needed to do more with what I had. I looked at no-code, and I could not build. It was not ready for the enterprise. That was a $14 billion organization. So I passed on no-code in 2016. Time goes by. I'm working with my business partner. We wanted to take enterprise class applications into underserved markets. We did our due diligence. We found that something happened in this period and no-code there was enough investment, enough progress that we were enterprise ready. And now whether it's the Harvard Business Review or Forbes, I run into people, they actually know what no-code is. I don't have to explain it, right? So no-code is enterprise ready. I keep hitting the wrong direction. And it is also industry ready. So this is not meant to be a commercial application or advertisement. This is meant to show what is possible, and this is life sciences. It is an eye chart. What this is saying is that with no code and no developers, just configurators, we have been able to build a functional footprint that matches point by point with what Viva, the industry leader powered by Salesforce.com, offers. Point by point. Does Viva have depth that we don't have in many? Yes, but we have get started and sometimes better than Viva functionality across the entire board. So industry-ready, enterprise-caliber applications are possible. And at least I'm consistent. And forthcoming, for those who are experts in this area, like Oksana, one of the peculiarities of sales in life sciences is that the reps constantly need to be learning. There's a lot of content and training and management. And probably to be released in July, we've now extended into a learning management system in Creatio, okay? So, I mean, and the speed with which we're able to deliver these enterprise caliber applications is remarkable. For those who know Moodle, does anybody know Moodle in the LMS space? It's the open source leader. We match up functional point by functional point, okay? It's my skill. But what I think the core value proposition of Nocode and Creatio is your ability to adapt to change. The reason my business partner, committed to Creatio instead of the alternatives was the BPM Workflow Engine. We are workflow oriented. We chose Creatio for that reason, to build the kind of solutions that we wanted to take to market. If you're interested, we have a PDF. It's aimed at the C-suite and the executives. It's a primer on what the third wave is. You know, what is no-code and why is it better? And there's a URL. If it's useful for you in doing your own selling and educating, please use the report. But this is a counterpoint to the futurists that we were listening to yesterday. Why now? I want to close with getting back to why now. There are a lot of storm clouds accumulating right now. And I would say that yesterday we got the sunny day view of the future. I myself am not looking forward to living in the Matrix, but there are very serious problems confronting society and businesses, and I think we can expect disruption like we have not encountered before in the coming years. I think it is irresponsible for any budget owner or decision maker within any organization, life sciences or otherwise, not to be accounting for this and not moving to agile platforms and foregoing the affordable cost of Creatio relative to the leaders in the industry, which is mainly Viva and OCE, both powered by Salesforce.com. Viva, by our estimates, is 3 to 6 times as expensive for same functionality as Arcane Life Sciences powered by Creatio. And that's the extent of the price difference. And I'm not saying that price alone should drive decisions, but it should not be ignored. So my proposition is the 6 points there. No-code has now gotten to the point of being enterprise ready. It has gotten to the point that you can build industry-specific applications, even for an industry as unique and complex as life sciences. Okay? It provides agility. It finds and enjoys user adoption, as we were hearing in the previous presentation. It's affordable, and it will position any organization to adapt to the unknowable that's forthcoming. All right. So for those that haven't done so, now we're at a Creatio conference, so most everybody already has gone through this, but the call to action is really to others to start looking at what's possible and evaluating either adoption to a switch to or adoption of a platform like this. For large pharma, for the larger organizations, switching off of what you have is hugely organizationally disruptive. And so a lot of the opportunity is more the field reps, the field force is going to dominate with Viva, but maybe for your key account team, maybe for product launches, you can complement the main battleship with a nimble cruiser with suitable fit for your complementary teams. That's the idea. And for startups that need to conserve their capital, like we were talking about, I can't think of a better choice than a platform like Creatio.